Hold on to your hand grenades, folks. Get ready for one atomic bomb of a bitch session. You're watching The Peter G Show.
Peter G Show!
Hey, everybody. It's that time again. Time once again for The Peter G Show. Couple things on my mind. Going to skip through some stuff because we got a good call today. Number one, you know that your show is doing good when you start getting haters. As much as I hate the haters, I love the haters. They're bitching already. And I know I'm hitting somebody in a sore spot. And I figure if I could just turn one of those around every so often to help them be better, cool. They're bitching. They're bitching a lot. You know, I'm telling it like it is. If you don't like it, sorry. It's the truth, and nobody wants to hear the truth. Everybody wants to, just say it's okay. Everything's okay. You're doing a great job. Baloney. If you're just a talker and you're not a doer, I don't know what to tell you. I'm standing up today. I told my producer, Ty, I did not want to sit down. I don't know. Pent up energy. It's all good. But especially when I start talking about the haters, I get all riled up because I don't like conflict. But yet you're going to have it because there's people that just, you can't make everybody happy. And not everybody's going to agree with me, and so be it. I'm cool. But there's a lot of this stuff that's very correct, and you need to listen. If you do, great. If you don't, you don't. Brazil. I don't know what's going on in Brazil. I mean, I'm focusing on the United States because I really want to take this show to TV. I'm telling you, entertainment. I'm going to do way more stuff than just bitch. It's going to be, I know, I like to bitch. But I'm going to bitch with other people, and I want it. There's a lot of things in my head that I want to do. I just one step at a time. But Brazil is like, I don't know what's going on with the ladies in Brazil, but there must be some trouble over there because they're paying attention and they're starting to join on. And thank you, Brazil. Cool. Just had to put that in there. One more thing, and then we're going to get going. Politics. Friggin' hate politics. I don't talk about politics a lot. But there's still all this conflict about the president, and he sucks, and come on, man. Let's get it together. He's our president. He's our president now, whether you want him or not. So here's the deal. Give him a chance. Let's see if he can put his actions where his mouth is, because he's just headstrong enough to possibly do it. Who knows? But the bottom line is, no matter what you're bitching about, he's our president. I'm neutral, okay? I'm like friggin' Sweden. I think it's a tough job. I'd never want that job. We can all bitch and talk about this and that. It's like Monday morning quarterback. Good friggin' luck. Who's got the balls to take that job and go do it? I don't want it. I like this job. I get to bitch. Divorce and single parenting. It's a big responsibility. Our children. Again, my daily routines of stuff, I deal with all kinds of stuff every day. It doesn't end. So I'm here to help. And we bitch about it. We talk about it and we learn. Today's show is going to be about not only the divorced and single parent. Today's show is going to be about the people around you, your family and friends that have to share some of the burden because you're having a hard time taking care of that child because of the circumstances. The family members, your sister, your mother, your father, your cousins, whatever, your girlfriend, it's not easy having to get your kids to school and you have to work but we don't talk about this, and I had a woman bring it up to me. Thanks for opening my eyes, and we're going to talk to her today because she said, you really should do a show about the people who have to help pick up the load, who have to help out because your sibling can't do it, your son, your daughter can't do it, and they need help. And it's rolling uphill now, not even downhill. I mean, to people that are, their mothers, their grandmothers, and we're getting ready to find all that stuff out. So we're going to talk to her. So without further ado, I want to get started with the show, The Peter G Show. And again, thanks, like, share. It's so important. You got to share this stuff, okay? Now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Okay, so on the phone, I have someone from thousands of miles away who brought to my attention something a few months back, and it stayed in my mind. And so eventually I finally got my butt going and decided to actually, she brought up a good point, and we're going to discuss this good point because it was something I didn't consider. I mean, I think about it, but you don't really, we're all tuned into our problems, and it goes a lot further. Many people have problems from the original problem. And so without further ado, Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hey, I have Lisa on the phone from the Gulf Coast of Florida. And she said something to me back a while ago that really stuck to my head. And tell them what you said to me, Lisa.
Well, I told you that the divorce situation is bad for the wife and the husband and the child who gets caught in the middle. But there's also other areas that hurt families, and that's parents, grandparents, great-grandparents,
right.
That's affected by divorce, separation,
And you are not the one. Now, let's make it even tighter, because who are you helping out now? And it's not your divorce. It's not your direct child or children that you're raising. You are helping family members, correct?
Correct. I have a niece and a nephew that I'm raising, and I am helping with my two grandsons. My son and daughter-in-law separated, divorced, and my son has custody of his two children, and their mother lives about 5 hours away.
Right.
So I'm the one that lives here with them and helps them on a day-to-day basis.
And you work for a living, obviously?
I do. I have a full-time job.
And your son works too, I guess, right?
He does, yes.
And you also told me, though, but your mother is still alive, correct?
Yes. My mother and my stepdad live on my property, and they even help out. My mother picks up, I've got a 5-year-old that I've had since she was 5 months old, and my mom picks her up from school for me because I work about an hour away.
How, out of curiosity, how old's your mom?
My mom's 76.
Okay, so you got the 76-year-old grandmother, you, and how old is your son?
I'm 35.
Okay, so everybody's having to chip in to try to carry the load to make sure these children are taken care of, which I'm making a good point, but I'm saying look what it takes. It's almost like it takes a village to raise a child because of the way life is.
That's very true, Peter. Very true.
And I, and again, I know you, and I'll tell them later, how we met and all that. But and this is what brought me to it, because when you said this to me, it really kind of stuck to my head, and it took me a plane ride or so of thinking, because I do a lot of thinking when I'm driving, riding, or showers or whatever. And I said, you know what, you got a really valid point there. We're always talking about the poor me going through how do I take care of my children, but it's like when you can't, and you're relying on your siblings or the friends, and do you have anybody to rely on? And here you are, and you're doing this and running from work to go do the next level, correct?
Correct. I raised both my children and had them raised, and then I'm on my second set now.
And when by right, you should be doing what you want to do, or things like that. And you have to make changes in your life for them.
Absolutely.
Which
absolutely.
I'm sure.
And I lost my husband. He kind of started this venture with me, with my brother's children, and he passed away about 3 years ago. So I've been doing it 3 years by myself, with the help of mom and dad.
So we have roughly 3 generations of people to take care of the 4th generation of children. Correct?
Correct.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. And does it take a toll on you, or is it, you have a pretty good system, everybody's pretty flexible, making it work, or does it get frustrating at times? How's that working?
Well, everything in life can get frustrating. Kids get sick at school. Who's the best available person to go pick them up? Things like that. But we work it out between all of us. My son loves to cook, so he does the cooking, and we just do what we have to do to get things done.
Sure. Now
But
your
it does take a village.
your son. I mean, is it again? There's all different ways. You're helping to take care of his children, or one or two.
2 boys.
Okay. He participates. He's not just like, I can't get my son to do anything. He's too busy screwing around.
No.
Okay. So
he's very involved.
He's the good
Very
son.
involved.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
You're not
very
just picking
involved.
up his slack for the sake of the kids. He's doing the
No.
best he can. We're all on hard times, correct?
Right.
Okay, good. Then God bless him. Okay, so that's a good thing
it?
because I'm not the right person to be talking about somebody who doesn't give a shit, and and dumps it on you. You know what I mean?
No. He we have some property here, and he helps with the property, and
Good.
and like I said, he cooks all the meals, and he also can pick up the other ones from
Good.
school and stuff. So he pulls in his weight.
Good.
He pulls his weight.
Because I know, I know your job, and I know you're there and you work a lot, and it's a lot. Kids are a lot. I mean, you've already been there, you've done it, and then you're relying on your mother and stepdad to step in and do more when they should be like not, having to worry about things. How are they? I mean, I'm sure it's their grandchildren and all that, and they love them, but how are they doing with everything?
They do well. I think it helps keep them young, and sometimes the older ones, the teenagers, get on their nerves. How kids can be lazy and stuff.
Shocking.
They sure do love the baby. She's 5, and they just adore her. I think she keeps them going.
That's awesome. Well, so that's good. So I guess in a lot of ways, very, very blessed. Even though there's some unfortunate things that came into the mix, the whole deal too. But that's my point. I don't think nobody's really brought it to my attention again. So that's why I'm bringing it to you guys' attention. This is a woman who's telling me, hey, it's not just that person. What about us? Who? And I'm sure there's a gazillion people out there out of my 3 million listeners, viewers, or is it 3? I can't really tell. Can't see from the numbers from right here. But there's tons of people that have to bear the load. And you made a valid point. I'm going, why didn't I think of that? But that's why I ask people to tell me things. And you were kind enough to step forward. And I appreciate you. We've been going back and forth a little bit. And even tonight, you're telling me you're a little bit sick, which everybody's starting to get a cold again. But you toughing through it to make sure we get the show, because we've been trying to do this for a few times now. And I appreciate it. But what do you think your biggest challenges are with this whole deal? I mean, trying to juggle all of this.
Just keeping everything in perspective. I had a little health scare a while back, and all I could think of is I have all these people dependent on me.
Yeah.
So the load of carrying, knowing that people are responsible for you, is
Right.
heavy. But it has its blessings too. I mean, how many people get a chance to start over and fix the mistakes maybe they made the first time with their children? So my daughter's a teacher, and she told me, "You're always learning, aren't you?" Because I've got this little one now, and she's 40ish. So
Sure. How's your sanity?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
That's true. That is true. I mean, everybody has their moments, when you just
most people would think you were crazy taking the first set of kids, let alone the second set of kids.
I think it takes very special people. But then again, I know who you are and where you work and all that. And again, you have to have a special talent for even that. And so it doesn't surprise me, I guess. But even as if you haven't taken on enough load, from work, family's family. I mean, I guess what are you going to do? I mean, you can say
the kids are innocent. I mean, it wasn't their fault.
Well, absolutely.
And they need to have a place to be, a place where they feel secure, and a place where they're loved. And it doesn't matter whether you're their aunt, you're the grandmother, who you are. You can be there for them as much as time allows. And as long as they have you, then they know they have something. Yeah.
Sure. And is everybody living under one roof?
No, actually, we have 2 houses on the property. And Mom and Dad live in the back house, and then my son and I and the 2 kids. The 4 kids live in the main house.
Does it ever get to the
point?
point?
A lot more glamorous than it is, but.
Well, I'm still with the kids. Do you ever get to the point where it's like, God, I wish the house was quiet for an hour?
Yes. Yes. And usually my son can detect that, and he gets them out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
They love to fish and be, we live near the Gulf, so they love to go to the beach and fish. So that's good.
Yeah, good. Okay, so pros and cons. Anything that you think is the biggest problem with trying to navigate this and keep it under control? I mean, what's your biggest pet peeve? I mean, see if it's something that's very common within, if any.
Trying to keep the house in order. I had gotten where both of my children were gone. It was just me and my husband. We were able to keep everything real organized and real together. And after kids are grown, you look forward to those times. And then all of a sudden you're back where your floor's sticky again and your refrigerator has stuff dripping down it. And you had those years of organization, and now you're back. It's like you're going backwards,
I got news for you. I got the same problem with Mr. Ralph, the old guy I live with here. He's like my big child.
Yeah.
Don't tell him, he might hear us. But it's like I come in, it's like, holy crap, what hurricane just came through here? Yeah. I'll leave within 2 hours. It's like I come back and it's like, what the hell happened? and he's not a child. I'm whispering. Anyway, okay. So keeping the house in order. I can understand that. It doesn't take much anyway. A couple of kids, or even just not putting stuff or messing up, fingerprints and sticky hands. And how old are the kids again?
Well, they range from 15 to 5.
Yeah, that's a wide gamut. So you're getting. How about attitudes? How are the kids doing?
Well, my 2 grandsons came from a different school district in another state, and they're doing real well. They improved in school. They have friends. Everything's going real well for them. They're doing good. The other two's always done good. The baby I've had since she's 5 months old, so she thinks I'm her mother.
Right.
I tell her she was born in my heart, not in my tummy. She gets that, but
right.
But they're doing fine. Typical teenage problems with the 2 oldest ones. I've got one 15 and one 13, 11 and 5. So, boys are going to be boys.
Yeah, I guess so. So with homework, who helps them with homeworks, or are they pretty good on their own? Because I'm already tapping out. Anna, thank God, is just taking the ball and running with it. I'm so blessed with that. But do you have to participate?
Boys are boys, they're a little bit different than girls, and I've had both, and I know.
Sure.
But, most of the time I do, because my son's cooking dinner, so by the time I come in, that's a good time to help them with their homework and that type of thing. Luckily, one's pretty independent, does his work, and the other one needs a little help. But, and then the 5-year-old, believe it or not, in pre-K, they have homework. So.
Oh yeah, they're pushing.
Sit down and get the homework done.
Do you have to follow behind them to make sure, or are they pretty good about doing it on their own?
They're pretty good at doing it on their own and asking for help if they need it. That's the deal.
Okay. I mean, because, again, with all these separations and divorces and this and that, the biggest issue I have is keeping their heads screwed on straight. And how do you, they, obviously, I guess they came out pretty good out of all this, or is there some, do you detect that there was some things that were damaged that, is getting better, or how's the relationship with the other parent? I mean, or is there a relationship?
There is. She has recently started, now this is the daughter-in-law, she has recently started coming to visit, and I, let her come here and spend time with them, and it does them good. I see how well it does them, and I always say you have to love them more than you hate her for what she, for what they do,
Right. But I mean, because it's kind of odd, don't you think? I mean, normally it's the guy that's not around, or at least most people portray that. And here it is. How did he get both the kids? She just says, "Okay, you can have them," or was this a court thing?
We could do a whole show on drugs and alcohol and how it affects families. Okay. And I could be the guest star of that show too.
You might be.
My son, let's just say my son at the time was a better parent and got custody of them when they were 2 and 4. He's had them since they
All
were
right,
two.
fair enough. I just talked to somebody else who had the woman was she was an alcoholic, and the father was took the kids, and because he had to.
Uh-huh.
It happens. My thing being is like, a lot of people when I first started this show, it's like, oh, you're a guy about, for guys. It's like, no, but it goes both ways. There really is. If you pay attention enough nowadays, and maybe back in the old days it was different, but it's pretty, it shifts one way or the other. There's good and bad everybody. Not just guys, saying, here's the kids, I gotta go. There's plenty of women that, can't help it. They got, again, drug or alcohol issues, or they just plain old don't give a shit.
Right.
Both ways.
And,
and then here you are.
I've had the little girl since she was 5 months old. Does that tell you? That tells you right there. There's another story, whole story right there.
Did she voluntarily do that, or you had to go through the?
No,
okay.
her dad took her. Her dad took her. My brother took her. And brought her to me just to be taken care of because she had disappeared, and I've never seen her, laid eyes on her since.
Wow.
And neither has the little girl.
You never stop parenting. No, it's like you're always there to pull your child out of a hole if you have to. Yeah. It's always going to be your child.
Yeah, and it's sad because the dad went bad too, so he's out of the picture. He's been out of the picture for the last few years, so yeah.
And the kids are, because again, I truly believe in balance. As much as my ex, we still don't talk, and who knows, God, if I'll ever, I can. And I honestly, I can care less. I'm at such a point because it never ends. One way or another, I cease to be amazed. And if I just finally said to myself, if I never heard her voice, I never talked to her again, I can care less. But she has, my daughter has a good relationship. Her mother is a good mother to my daughter. Right. And that's all you can do. But I worry about the kids because I feel that they need balance. Now, granted, you're there. There's women and men around, so that's a good thing, I guess.
Right.
But it's, but sometimes it's like I learned from my ex's past because she had 2 other children. And their father wasn't around that much, but he was still Superman because he wasn't around to do wrong. Just wasn't around. So everything was wonderful when it was there.
Right.
And, so I don't know, but at least so the kids got some balance and some stability. I guess they're all good.
Well, my husband used to say all a kid ever needed was love, and as long as they had that, they'd be fine. I hope he's right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, hey, listen, it's better than, not better than nothing, but yeah, no, but again, I just always learned from my mother way different things than I did from my father. And I'm very thankful for that because, my mother had a lot of skills and my father had completely different skills, and it made me who I am. I can sew a button or I can go change the oil in the car. Right. And I appreciate that. Even with my father, a lot of things I don't agree with, but the thing is, I'm glad I got what I got out of both of them. It made me who I am, regardless of whatever that may be.
Right.
Could be worse. Could be worse. So, okay. Because I want to wrap it up here soon because I know you don't feel good. And I deeply appreciate you coming on and exploring this. And believe me, we may dive into this in a deeper, because I'm going to be seeing you in the future anyway. And you see all this stuff and who knows where we go from here. But anything like really like gets under your skin or you feel that you really need to say, because this is your chance to say it, that the like advice, because you're a pretty smart woman and you're a really caring woman. And I think anything you can put out there, if there's something, what would you say?
Just don't be hard. Just don't be so hard on yourself. Just do the best that you can. Love them the best you can. Give them what you can give them, and just pray.
Okay, so love them and don't be hard on yourself and pray.
Well, of course, sometimes, you wish you were younger and you could do more with them and, have more energy at the end of the day, but you just do the best you can.
Sure. I doubt they're complaining. You don't do enough, Yeah, because believe me, I'm sure you do plenty, and that's the whole key, staying involved and being active, and I'm sure that they've got it good, because otherwise, if they weren't doing good, I'm sure I'd be hearing that too, because, we need to know. Yeah, so far. Well, yeah. I mean, everybody tells me with Anna, wait till she gets 13, and I go, what am I going to do? I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So far, so good, though. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it and sorry, I mean, life is good with her. But, I put a lot of time into it. Her mother puts a lot of time into it, and you get what you put into it, basically.
Absolutely. And you just do the best you can.
That is true, and believe me, because I'm constantly with her. I said your dad's really trying, especially I'm double timing with the show and everything else, and back when with the Floridas and managing my folks, and it's hard. It was a nonstop getting up early, and participating to be in touch to say, hey, I am here now. To try and keep this from getting out of control. And it does take a lot out of you, and I do get pissed. And sometimes it's like with Anna, it's like she asked me the other day, can we go to the barn? Because, she lives practically at that barn. I go, Anna, I got to do this. It's my only time. It's okay, Dad. We can do it another day. And so she's understanding. Some kids are demanding.
Yeah.
Do you have this kind? Are your kids understanding?
None of them are real demanding. That's
good.
I guess I'm lucky there.
Yeah, I guess so, because there are a lot of kids that they just feel like they got to do it, and why can't we do it right now and everything else. So I've been very fortunate. She knows I'm hustling. I am working. I want the best for her. I want to give her everything, but I can only do what I can do.
Yeah.
All right, last shot of if anything hits your brain to you just gave us your word of wisdom. How's Lisa now? Lisa's end of the day, another Saturday, before you know it, boom, it'll be Monday again, and you're back to the grind, and you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I guess
I'm okay with
Good.
that. Just give me the strength to keep going and keep doing it and get them raised and see them off to be good, prosperous people.
Yeah, that's basically all you can really. You really don't. Somebody just said that, and it's stuck in my head too on a plane ride. And it's like, you really can't, the only way you can tell is when they grow, how they are as adults. That's where you see how you brought them up, and that's all you can do. You just do the best. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. Well, I'm at the point in my life where I'm just glad I woke up. When I woke up, it's like, all right, I get one more shot at it for the day. I mean, I've just had to do that. The saying, the guy complains about having no shoes, and the guy with no feet does, however the hell that goes. Yeah. It could always be worse. It could always be
Absolutely.
worse. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up. Lisa, I love you very much. I thank you for everything you've done in my past and for coming onto the show, even though, like I said, you felt a little under the weather, for just giving me this little bit of time so we can make sure we get this show done. And so I thank you for that. I'm going to let you go now, and I'm going to finish up real quick, and we'll be back in touch. Possibly for part 2.
That'd be great.
It never ends. Okay, everybody, Lisa from the Gulf Coast of Florida, my friend. Thanks, Lisa. I love you. We'll talk soon, okay?
Bye.
All right, have a good night. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a little something now about Lisa. Lisa was a woman who worked in the nursing home that took care of my mother. Those people know how much I cared to make sure she was being cared for, because she was my mother and she was incapable of taking care of herself anymore. Lisa was they all did a great job. I was very, very fortunate. If you get into these situations, you really need. My biggest fear was putting my mother into a nursing home and her rotting in a corner somewhere. The weekend people who just took jobs that, that they don't want to do this, cleaning people. My mother's in diapers, and doing a job they don't want to do and just neglecting her. But I got very fortunate. Number one, I was very proactive. I was in their face in a good way, telling them that's my mother and I love her and I care. I need to make sure she's being cared for. Constant meetings, going there. They knew that. But besides that, this woman took way beyond the call of duty. You know how many, nursing homes, it's full of old people who are consistently passing. But she and several others, a big handful, knew how important it was, and she went beyond the call of duty, staying in touch with me personally. She didn't have to do that. That's her job. In fact, there was a big issue over that. They were the HRs or all this, you're not supposed to talk, and it's like, screw that. That was my mother. Not only that, but when my mother passed a while ago, her and one of the other top heads of the department came to my mother's funeral. Who does that? You know how many people they lose in those places? And she came to my mother's funeral. As if I didn't love her enough for what she does, she just completely, I don't even know how to put it. That's it. You could not thank somebody enough. She came to my mother's funeral. They took time out of their lives for somebody who had nothing to do with anybody else and came and just paid their last respects. And forever am I indebted to the dedication and the love that specialty care center in Pensacola, Florida did for my family. And I'm sure they're doing it for other people's families too. Just want to put that out there. Because this is the kind of woman who not only is she caring for her family, doesn't have enough on her table, but dealing with all that, and then has to go to work, and all these old people, they all have needs, they all kind of invalids, and you walk down the halls, and I feel bad, and I used to go, and a good bit, and they're all in the wheelchairs, and they're all looking at you as you're walking by, and you don't know who's coherent and who's not, so I'd screw around and say, hey, how's it going, and then the ones that were going to wake up, because they may be 90, they may be 70, but they're still 20 in their heads, kind of like me. But they're still people. And dignity, when you get to that age, it's like, that was my mother was a vibrant woman who could do anything. And then she got to be where she couldn't do anything. And I'll be damned if I'm ever going to let them forget who she was. And they did a great job, and I thank you. I'm glad we got to talk to her. I just wanted to get that out there. She had a very valid point. I had to go back. I was back and forth to Florida. I'm always back and forth to Florida. But I went and see them. I'm forever going to be their friends. I mean, I've loved them for what they... I can't say it enough. If you get people in your life, it's because you've put your time into... it goes both ways. Nobody's going to just keep reaching out to you if you're just a dipshit. They got to know, and then you deserve what you get, and I'm so blessed for that. So the bottom line is they did a great job. As if she doesn't have enough, then she's got to go to work and care for all these elderly and oversee a lot of them, and just a great human being. So, Lisa, this show's for you. We dedicate the show for all your hard work and for helping to talk to other people and saying, hey, you know what? Again, you're not alone. Tons of people have to bear this load. Family members, cousins, sisters, mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers. It's crazy. But when you love hopefully you love your family and your friends, and that's what you do for people you love. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope this show helps you. I want to hear from you. By the way, I got a special guest coming that we're doing an interview on, and a rock star, kind of, one of the biggest guitar players in the world. He's a 2-time father raising kids, and I just got the phone with him this morning, and we're going to be doing a live interview with him, and we're going to do a special one because he's the tops. He's one of the biggest guitar players in the world, one of my friends, but I procrastinated. I've been wanting to call him because he's full of stories. There's no guarantees of what's going to happen on that show, but I guarantee you it'll be... One thing I'll guarantee you, it will be interesting, and it will be special. Steve Lukather, one of the biggest guitar players. I can't say it enough. Talented son of a gun, but a great father, too. And I've watched him through the years, and I've always had him in the back of my head. In fact, one of the biggest memories. So that'll be coming up in, who knows, another month or two, and looking forward to it. So I hope you look forward to it. You're watching The Peter G. Show, listening, podcast, iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. This show, I'm going to put Steve Lukather on this show, and we're going to do it like this. But I promise you, but next time we do it, because I'll have him back. But every time we're going to be doing TV, not this TV. This is great. I want bigger. I want more stuff. I want more information. I want more funny. I want a lot of things to round the show out. But for now, this will work. I'm kind of having fun with it, and I know you guys are listening because I'm getting a lot of flack, good and bad. But hey, what do you want for nothing? Love you guys. I'm Peter G. You're watching The Peter G. Show. Peace out.
Peter G. Show.